Sam DeBianchi LaViola. I am the realtor and founder of DeBianchi Real Estate.
Can you tell me about your own mental health journey?
Sure. My mental health journey is interesting. Um, Early on, when I was younger, back in middle school, being a female was difficult. I was bullied quite a bit, and I definitely had a lot of moments of feeling alone and depressed. On top of that, I looked different. I was heavier looking. I had acne. I had everything that you wouldn't want as a female in middle school. Facial hair. Of course, I'm Italian, so we all have facial hair. And like I said, I got bullied an extreme amount. Thankfully, I also played sports. I played a lot of tennis, so that was a bit of my outlet. But growing up was definitely difficult with making friends without feeling unsafe in the sense of people talking about me or criticizing me or being mean. And that stemmed some depression, and it was definitely a tough time. And people try to say, get over your past and get over your childhood and youth and trauma. But that stuff stays with you. And I think it's important to be able to grow from that and turn it into something positive.
Yeah, what was your journey like to where you are today?
Well, so through that, I always made it a mission to have set goals and accomplish those goals. And while I wasn't going out and, partying, I didn't have a lot of people I could trust. I didn't have a lot of friends. I set out to accomplish different things, whether it was be great at school, be great at tennis, be great at whatever job and career path that I wanted to take. And I did that very systematically. And, my parents were also very supportive of anything and everything that I wanted to do. And they always told me, do whatever you want to do, be whatever you want to be, as long as you're happy. So I always went with that. And I was able to become a realtor and then get myself on television and get myself great speaking opportunities and really grow my entire empire and grow myself as a brand, which I'm very proud of.
What was it like being on TV?
Well, there's two different types of TV that I've been on. I started actually speaking on Fox News, Fox Business, CNBC as a real estate expert, and I talk about the housing market and my opinions and perspective on real estate. And I was also on a very large reality show called $1 Million Listing Miami. I was the first female of that franchise. And both experiences were extremely different in the sense of when I go on news channels, it's all live and it's kind of this banter back and forth. A reality show is very different in the sense of we filmed over the course of almost a year, and you never know how editing will come out and what will take from that. So I think there's a lack of control. Like I know when I get interviewed what I'm going to say. Even if you have a certain question, I know my stuff. I'm educated and experienced. So we kind of go back and forth. But when you're doing a reality show, it's very different because maybe I said, I like purple, and somehow that will get cut into an entirely different scenario that I didn't mean. Or if I cry during a different situation, and they cut out me crying to look weak or look something that I wasn't feeling at that moment in time. So there were goods and bads and pros and cons, but overall, I think it's been a really great experience.
And I think I don't know much about housing markets and stuff like that, but is there like stress that comes with that?
Stress that comes with housing markets or?
With trying to sell and be competitive against other
Yeah.
people and all that?
I mean, being a realtor, there's a very low barrier to entry to become a realtor. But to actually make money as a realtor, I think that's where it can be very stressful, especially here in Florida. There's so many people with a real estate license. So it's not just doing a great job at buying or selling with a client. It's just even getting the client, because you meet anyone on the street, they'll know at least 4 people with a real estate license. So you there's 2 different businesses. It's you growing yourself as a great realtor, a great reputation, your marketing, your advertising, your brand. And then once you get the client, it's helping them with buying, selling, renting. So it's very nonstop, and it kind of comes in waves. So you have to make sure that when the wave is good, you're also saving and planning for the time when the wave crashes and when things aren't so great. So for example, in Florida, summertime is generally pretty dead. That's when you try to take your vacations and do things, work on your marketing. And our season here is November until about the end of May. And that's when it's really busy and you get focused, and it's all craze from there.
And I'll air this in September, but September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and you have a story that can help others. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I think there's a variety of stories, first and foremost. So growing up, like I said, I looked different. I played about 4 to 5 hours of tennis every day. I had a lot of energy, but I looked heavy, and something wasn't right. And thankfully, my parents took what I was saying seriously. We went to the doctor. I got tested by an endocrinologist, and I found that I had 4 times the amount of cortisone in my body. I had what was called Cushing's disease, which is a tumor on your pituitary. And your pituitary is your master gland, and that controls everything. So I am very thankful that I was able to understand my body and catch that early and handle things, because during that time, that tumor, it's your master gland. And because it controlled everything, it also controlled my emotions. Depression was a huge part of my early childhood. I reached some incredibly dark times growing up, looking different and being bullied at a time where puberty hits is never a fun thing. And I remember, I would come home and cry and just ask my parents, why are people so mean? And when is it going to stop? And it was tough. And it was then where I tried overdosing, and it clearly was unsuccessful. And I was open to my parents about it, and they really helped me and talked to me, which I think a lot of it is just understanding what you're going through and being able to talk to someone. And another big hit happened again when I was a part of a reality show, that there were some really dark times and a lot of pressure and stress, and you need to be more this, more that. You're too much of this, you're too much of that. You're too confident. You're not luxurious enough. You need to sell more. You're selling the properties we don't want to showcase. So it's hard. It's hard to be everything to everyone. And that really put me in a dark place during that time. And again, I think through connecting with the right people and support helps me see the light. And I think that's the biggest thing. People get embarrassed by, feeling depressed or feeling sad. And some people don't even know the difference between feeling sad and feeling depressed.
Yeah.
And understanding that there is a difference, and it's not normal to feel really down in the dumps, and you shouldn't be that sad for that long. It should just be a feeling instead of something that really takes over. And I'm very aware of it now. And it's important to me, even with my children. I talk to them. How are you feeling? I try not to go too overkill, because then they're like, Mommy, we just want to go play baseball. But I always remind them that they can tell me anything at any time, and they never have to be scared to talk about their feelings and emotions, and, just making it a comfortable setting versus something that needs to be locked away in a closet. I think that's really important.
I'm with you. Like with talking to kids. I have a 10-year-old and 7-year-old, and I live with bipolar disorder too. And I didn't say anything when I was growing up. I wasn't diagnosed till I was 37. So talking about that wasn't on the table. So I want to be as open as I can be for my kids.
Right. And I think it's important too to see people on television, people who are successful, people who are making money, that you can do all these things and still take care of your mental health, whether it's just talk therapy, whether it's medication, whether it's as simple as just, increasing exercise, getting sunlight. I mean, there's things that don't require that much effort that can really change your entire mindset.
Does telling your story help your own healing process?
100%. I think telling my story really makes people, it really helps me feel more confident, because I feel like it's something that I went through that was extremely tough and difficult. I mean, even during, when I was filming, I had lost my dog to a very tragic situation with the teeth cleaning. And it really messed my head up. And immediately I'm back to filming, and just, I couldn't process grief. I couldn't just take a second. And so in thinking now that I have control and I'm able to have the time that I need and that I want, to grieve if I want, to be happy if I want, to do whatever I need to be my best version of myself, I think that's key.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I think because I'm very self-aware, and I know sometimes if I'm feeling down, I'm like, I want to go work out. Or I just need 15 minutes and just go park somewhere, look at the ocean, get some sunlight, and that can change my entire mood. I also am aware of people and how you can't control what people are going to think or what they're going to say, and just kind of have to shake it off. I mean, being out there, whether it's on television or social media, people come out of the woodwork. They say terrible things. I've been told everything from I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm a tramp, I should kill myself. I've literally have heard and read everything. And it's like, these people don't know who I am. They've never met me. I don't know who they are. And they're spending all of their time just hating on me. I mean, that's pretty sad. And just instead of letting it affect me, just compartmentalizing that and knowing, life goes on, and I have to feel sorry for people like that. But that's not going to shake me up. That's not going to ruin my mental state and my ability to be happy.
What advice would you give anyone going through a tough time?
I think if you're going through a tough time, not to be embarrassed. I think that's maybe a huge key, because when people, young, old, male, female, I think they just get embarrassed to talk about it. And I think secondly, to find people who you are comfortable talking with. If your family isn't really great with communication, then, try a friend. But also seek paid help. Don't just rely on friends. Don't just rely on your family. Pay an expert, someone who really knows how to help you, because your mind is a muscle. And, just like you might hire a personal trainer at the gym, you got to work out your mind too. And you got to get your mind right, and you have to get your mind strong. So that money that you spend on, getting bigger muscles, you got to work that and use that for your brain as well. Because if you're not right in the head, it doesn't matter how fit you are. It doesn't matter how
Right.
good you look. I mean, that your mind controls everything. What level of success you will reach. Just even getting out of bed. That's your mindset. What time are you going to get out? What are you going to do as soon as you put your feet on the ground and get out of bed? So your mindset, that's where the money should go.
How does it feel for you when you talk to people with similar lived experience?
I think when I talk to people with similar lived experience, I feel that there's a good connection. I don't feel like an outsider anymore. Again, I could bring it back to, back to middle school where I always felt like a loner. And then when I can meet someone who understands me, it's like, oh, there's more of us. And it's a good way to feel, and knowing that other people were bullied, other people had hate thrown at them, and look at them. They're able to have a great life. They're successful. They're happy. It's not about what you have or being married or single or whatever it is. It's just about being happy, knowing who you are, being self-aware, and knowing when you need help, how to get help, and not being embarrassed and afraid to do so.
So you are very successful in a lot of different things, but where do you want to see your mission and journey in the next 3 to 5 years?
The next 3 to 5 years, I want to be able to really help people on a much larger scale than just buying and selling real estate. I'm currently working on a book, and that book is, again, about your mindset. It is not about real estate. I think there's plenty of real estate books out there. But to show people that they can accomplish anything. It's just, again, that first step. What are you doing when you put your feet on the ground outside of bed? What's that next step, and how to just start?
What is it like writing a book?
It's a long process. Writing a book is a very long process, especially because I have so many ideas in so many different directions. I'm working with a book coach right now, and she's encouraged me to understand that because I have so many different ideas that I can have multiple books. It doesn't have to all just go into one. So it's very exciting because I do feel I'm at a stage in my life where I've got things that I can teach people. And yeah, it's exciting. And I'm also excited just to have something that my kids can be proud of, and they could say, Mommy wrote this book. Not just mommy's on TV or mommy's a realtor, but something that, can last a lifetime.
What are some of the things you've learned from your kids?
Oof. Well, I have 2 little boys, so I've learned a lot of patience. I have learned that sometimes I need to increase my energy levels. Um, just to laugh. I think that's probably one of the most important, is to just laugh. Like, they don't actually need much other than, what their children, so what they need me as a parent to do. But they just want me around. Like, they don't care what I'm dressed as, what I look like, any of that stuff. They just want me there. They want to play. They want me to read. They like to color. And so I think it's really made me appreciate the simpler things in life. As you get older, suddenly everything that you want becomes bigger, better, more expensive. And that's where the stress comes in. And right now they don't have any stress. They're 3 and almost 5. So they shouldn't have any stress.
Right.
And life is just fun. And I think I love seeing life through their eyes, because it's just, everything is fun. So it's a great feeling, and it's awesome. They're amazing.
How can people reach out to you and learn more?
Sure. You can always follow me on social media at Sam DeBianchi. You could Google me as well, Sam DeBianchi LaViola. And you can always send me a DM as well.